Hey guys, Mike with Old Iron. Today we're going to set the timing on a 90 Chevy 1500 355.7. So there's a couple things you got to do with the TBIs that are a little different than your old school stuff. So we're going to go over everything. I'm going to take you off the tripod real quick and we'll show you what's going on. Now with these OBS trucks, the computer sets the advance on the timing. So you got to disconnect that before you set your timing. Now, depending on the year of your vehicle, it seems like this thing's in all different kind of places, but it's a beige wire. Let me see if I can get in here. It's a beige wire with a red, it's a beige wire with a black stripe on it. Okay, mine's right here. Sometimes you'll find it'll be wrapped in the harness. Sometimes it'll be back here. Sometimes it'll be down, or sometimes it'll be back here, sorry. Sometimes it'll be down behind your air conditioning, fetcher valve. You know what I'm talking about, this thing. All right, and some vehicles, this truck's been sitting for a while, so the inside's a mess. Some vehicles will be right there, behind my son's garbage bag. Up there by the blower motor, kind of back under here. The wire will be there. You got to disconnect that. Because if not, you're going to be setting your timing at about 40 degrees advanced, I think is what it would end up being. So first thing you want to do is disconnect that. Now your timing marks on your small block Chevy, if I can get in here, there she is. There's your timing mark right there, your timing tab. Now the notch closest to the right is your 0 degree. You got your lower pulley and you got your harmonic balancer. On your harmonic balancer, you will have a groove line right here. And what I do is I take one of these paint markers on everything I own, and I'll get underneath there and I'll just run it down that line. That way it's marked and you can see where it's at. It's a pretty good sized groove, but if it's painted all one color or if it's all rusty, it's really hard to see even with the timing light. So you get one of these, get silver, white, yellow, some bright color, whatever, and run it down that line and you'll see it. So these, you really can't set in the ear, because even with the computer out, if you disconnect the computer, it's not advancing right, so it's not going to sound right. You're not going to be able to really set it by ear. Now somebody's going to get on here and say, I set mine by ear all the time. Good for you, man. I can't do it. All right, once you get your plug undone, find your timing marks, hook up your timing light. Okay, if you happen to have one that has the adjustable degree on the back, make sure it's set to 0. All right, so we're gonna make sure that bugger's at 0, right like that. And you've got 2 different wires. One's for your negative and your positive on your battery, and the other one is your induction clamp. And what this does, you know, those fine folks in China could have made these wires just a little longer. This goes on to #1 spark plug. Now, most GM intakes will have the runners marked, okay? 1357 going down this side. So small block Chevy, it's driver's side, very front plug. Okay, so get that hooked up. Now I'm going to record this, but I'm going to cut the volume off because we got to put a new exhaust on this thing, and it's going out of the garage today. But my son gets his bonus next month, and he's getting long tube headers and a full dual exhaust that we're going to put on this thing. We'll do a video probably on that. But anyway, I'm going to put you on the tripod, and you want to bring the motor up to operating temperature. All right, at least to the point to where the throttle body kicks down, your idle kicks down. It just makes it easier. You don't have to, but I like it when it's warmed up a little bit. So we'll do that, and what you want to do is you want to set it to 0 degrees on the harmonic balancer, because when you plug that plug back in, your computer on your motor or on your vehicle will adjust the advance accordingly. It'll recalibrate and it'll adjust it accordingly. But when you're setting it down here, you got to have that unplugged and you got to set it to 0 is what you need to do. Now you can advance it just a hair. It might help with gas mileage and performance just a little bit. We might do that. But factory specs, 0, unplugged. We got her. Now, new gaskets, new wrap, everything. That's what the smoke's from. All right. I set it maybe 1 degree advanced, 1, 2 degrees, something like that. So now what you want to do is you want to tighten down your distributor, and you want to hook your plug back up. All right, guys, new phone. So for some reason I keep hitting the button and it keeps stopping the recording. So I'm gonna backtrack a little bit and see if we can get it going. Now, one thing I didn't point out is you want to get a distributor wrench. These are about 10 bucks at Hobo Freight. You can get them online for about the same price. It's a 1/2 inch on one side, it's 9/16 on the other. So it fits most standard distributor bolts. Now they do, I've seen them where metric. That's probably for foreign cars. I don't know, I've never needed one. But you can use other things. You can use a regular wrench, and you can use a crow's foot, which is, don't pay attention to my messy toolbox. You can use one of those too. It's just more of a pain. So get the distributor wrench if you plan on doing any type of work to your vehicle or tuning it up yourself. And you'll thank me in the long run. Now, I want to point out these headers, okay? They're wrapped, and I got spark plug heat boots on them, okay? Now, when I built this motor, it was right before COVID. Everything was closed. Scrap yards were closed. You couldn't find, well, it was right at the beginning of COVID. I'm sorry. Everything was closed. You couldn't find anything. And this exhaust manifold, the stock one, was cracked. So I've got manifolds. I've got them up there. I've got them under the bench. I've got them underneath the shelf here. I've got some over there. All small block Chevy. Not one of them would fit. I tried putting ram horns on it. The ram horns wouldn't fit. I mean, anything just to move forward in the project. So I ended up getting these headers offline. They were like 60 bucks at the time, okay? You get what you pay for, man. What they do is they burn the hell out of the plugs, even with the header wrap and even with the boots. What you end up with on number 5 and number 6 cylinders is that. Gotta love it, huh? So, in short, like I said, you get what you pay for. Now the Heinemans and the hooker headers and, you know, the higher dollar, $200-300 set headers, shorties, they might be better. They might be bent different, I'm guessing. You really don't have too much room in between those headers and the steering shaft. So, but you could come out a little farther and kind of hook them back down towards the block. And I think that's might be what Hooker and the other companies might do to give you a little bit more on the back end up against the block. If not, that's what they need to do. I don't know how the long tubes are, if they're any better or if they're worse. If anybody knows, please leave a comment below. But that's about it. You need to tighten up your bolt once you get your timing set and your bolt is right down there. I tipped my finger. Lighting's real bad, but it's a 9/16 on this year's small block Chevy. Get that done. You got to plug your plug back in and you should be good to go. Now we'll have this thing back in and out of the shop because like I said, we're putting a full exhaust on it. He's getting the cab corners. We're going to do those and start doing the body work on this thing. And a couple other little things along the way. And we've actually got 3 different OBSs we're going to be working on. If this was the least bit helpful, do me a favor. Give it a good old thumbs up, man. And hit subscribe if you want to follow along on more content we're going to be putting out. I appreciate every last one of you guys, man. And we will see you soon.